Sunday, everybody. How's it going? Hey, I'm Bug from Bug Hunter. Hello. Yeah, I got a new intro. I want to keep improving it too, but I feel like a new album meant thematically I should probably come up with a new intro. What I really want to do is I want to take the old intro and combine the old intro with the new intro with some of the Platonic Best Friend video, because that's missing from the old intro. So anyways, who's here? Who we got? I'm Bug. I'm here. Looks like Coin is here. Looks like Puck is here. Elro is here. Almia is here. The biggest of men is here. It was the biggest of men. It was the buggest of men. Time of Some is here. Wind Pop. Crimson. Harry is here. My dad is here. What's my dad doing here? Go enjoy your vacation, silly goose. Nick E and Fred and X-Tex. Who else? Kyle the Person is here. Stephen Deluxe, Primordial Spatula. Bryce Card is here. Thunder Jams is here. Cool. Got a good group. What a crew. What a crew. Kaylee Mims is here. Cornfield is here. Roy. Tiny Turtle saw us in Maynard, the fake Boston, just the town motto. Maynard, almost Boston. Which one was that? We did Framingham and we did Maynard. Maynard was the sanctuary, right? My dad says, any bets on the clock if the clock will have a new battery? Nope, won't have a new battery. I even went to Kroger today, and last week I said, hey, when I go to Kroger again, I'll pick up batteries. Didn't do it. So hey, maybe next time. So here's what I do. I'm Bug. I play songs and answer questions and talk about things and tell stories and whatever y'all want to talk about. I don't know. If you're here, your family. So let's just talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's your stream. Why don't I start with a song? I was very pleased to see a lot of people asking for this, because this is the one that I practiced 4 minutes before I hit go on the stream. So this will be my first time playing this for a stream or any live audience, I think. I don't know that I ever played this one for anybody, because I didn't play it on tour. So I might mess this up a lot. We'll see. Like I said, this is the first time. This is a song called Coward. My honey thinks I'm a coward. My darling thinks I'm a dud. My sweetheart swears I'm a bit too meek. My lover doubts I'm a fighter. My sugar is sure I am neither. My baby doll sprinkle but thinks I'm weak. So you say to me, why can't you be more like Bug Hunter, fighting petty thieves behind the Wendy's, thwarting robberies, defending all the cowards too afraid to be Bug Hunter, a vigilante and a fighter, pulling grannies out of fires, though his spandex is too tight. We love Bug Hunter. You can run, you can hide, can you change my mind? My honey thinks I'm a coward, that I have no superpowers, that I'm just the average sloppy Joe. But you say, no, I'll give you some credit, you do seem athletic. When you run, jump, leap from the scene and exit, you might be prophetic, at least telepathetic. So I'm thinking of a hero, no need to guess it. It might sting, but let it, I'd be yours if you'd be a bit more like Bug Hunter. When the skateboard park collapsed, guess who dressed up in his mask with 20 crannies on his back? That's right, Bug Hunter. Whereas you were not around, you disappeared when it went down. I found your clothes thrown on the ground. Why were you naked? cool. Hey, I did it. Yay. I messed up that one chord. Yay. That's an acoustic version of Coward, which no one's ever heard except for y'all 42 people in this moment right here on Sunday, September 24th. So, yeah. Nick says, Def, one of my top faves from the new album. Very cool. I love to hear that. Yeah, I've been getting just about every song as somebody's favorite, which feels good when you release a new album. I like to have no filler songs on my albums, and even before release, with like the 12 people who had heard the album, at least every song was somebody's favorite. So that felt very good to me, kind of going into it. And now it feels like we got a lot of fan fiction. I see a lot of bedtime story. Still learning how to play both those songs. And predictably, very few shocking plot twists on people's top threes, which is why we put it out first, so y'all could enjoy it for a month before the other songs came along and blew it out of the water. But yeah, I'm seeing some Cowards too, which makes me feel good. I think it's a very fun song. I have a lot of fun playing it, so. And there is V saying, really? Shocking plot twist is my favorite. Yeah, I think that's the strength of the new album, is that I will say things like that, and somebody be like, I'm surprised by that, so. Oh man, y'all are just saying the songs you like. That's really nice of you. Nick says, March Madness next year is going to be fierce. Yes. So I do plan on doing March Madness, but I also spent like about 5 hours earlier this week. If anyone's ever done the house quiz on my website, so like you go and like you say like which song you prefer out of like a set of 3, and then it kind of goes through, and then at the end it'll tell you whether you are a theory deer or a cozy astronaut or a toddler with a slingshot, which are the 3 houses. And the theory deer kind of represents people who overthink things. Cozy astronaut are people who just like to vibe and like with a blanket and a pillow. And toddler with a slingshot is the chaos energy. And I feel like all 3 of those, you can pretty much attribute the energy in all my songs to one or several of those characters. And anyways, it's always been kind of like I added the new songs into the house quiz so that you could go in and have the happiness songs on there as well. But then because I was kind of had my hands on it again for the first time since I made the quiz in 2020, this has been about almost 3 years since I first made it. I was like, I think I could improve this because it's always the same 3 songs that you have to choose between. And so once you've taken it once, you kind of like, you could take it again if you wanted to, but nothing's really going to change that much. But this week I made a new version of it that is it's like a bracket. So it'll put all 44 Bug Hunter songs randomly into like round 1, and you'll pick 1 out of 4, and then all of your winners go to the next round, and then you pick your favorite of those, and then it goes until it gets like a final song. And so obviously like the final song should be the same every time, but the first round is different, and so I'm working on rolling that out here pretty soon, which is kind of like a mini personalized version of the March Madness that I do normally every year. I didn't do it this year because it'd been a while since I released a new song, and it felt like I should just wait until I have more music. So Poppy says, God morning. Yeah. My dad says I'm a toddler. Yeah, my dad loves the toddler songs, so. Yeah. And then you can go into our Discord and choose a role. So your name will be either blue or purple or orange, depending on which you'll have the little icon, little mascot icon next to your name. So it's fun. It's a fun thing. Anyways, so pretty soon here I might switch out the well, I don't know. Here, I'll do this. You guys, I'm gonna give you the link to it. It's very alpha version right now, so some of the presentation is a little weird, but you can go and take the bracket version of it now if you wanted to, and you can help me test it and make sure there's no issues with it. And then it'll give you, this one will actually give you your the order of the albums that you like based on the songs that you picked. So you can pretend that, you know, the Rough Draft's your favorite album, but the quiz won't lie. It'll tell you if it's actually Happiness. So oh, Deep Blue Ink is here. Hell yeah. Hey Deep Blue Ink. We should play Fall Guys again here soon. That would be fun. Anyways, you can take that quiz later. Just open it in another browser. Everyone's gonna leave now. But anyway. Cool. Why don't we do a little cozy Q&A. So if anybody has questions for me about the new album, about just Bug Hunter, about life, about Pokemon. I have been playing Baldur's Gate, no spoilers. I just beat Sly Cooper, and last night I downloaded. It was on sale for $5. It was worth $20, but they'll take a $5. A game called Titanfall 2, which Titanfall was like the last game that I played in college before I got a guitar and stopped playing video games. And I always heard that Titanfall 2 was like really, really fun, and so I downloaded it last night because I just released an album, and I am letting myself just kind of like I have a million things to do with the Kickstarter, but I am interspersing that with downtime because I think I deserve it after this entire year not really having any. So cool. So if you want to talk about Titanfall, I'll talk about Titanfall too. So I'm just gonna play a little ukulele and answer questions and talk about things. So Knacker says 64.4% Todd with a slingshot. That's a lot. Timeson wants to know, do you think that on the second leg of the tour you'll play more Happiness or other albums? So funny you should mention that. I had a dream last night that I was playing a show. It was like my first show after Happiness came out, and I only played like one song from it, and then afterwards I was like, I probably should have played more than one, because it was like I came out and just like played Pine Cones and Point to Prove and all my old songs, and I felt like the audience like had already been to a show. It was like a city, wherever it was a city I'd played before, and I was like, man, half the audience had basically seen that show before. Like I should have mixed it up. So, anyways, yeah, I think I think maybe this fall. I don't know. It's always a hard balance. You want to put the show on that people want to see, and I'm still not totally convinced that the audience that are coming to the show want to see a primarily Happiness set, because y'all are my the 51 people here in the YouTube stream and the people in the Discord. It seems like you love the album, which makes me very, very happy. But you have to also take into account there's still going to be people coming to shows that heard Disco in the Panic Room, and they're like, yeah, I'll go see that show. And so, maybe they heard Disco and Pine Cones, and those are the only two songs they want to hear. And if I don't play those, then they could walk away being like, this guy, he's only playing his new stuff. So I'm aware of it as a fan of music. So as I grow my discography, I have to still kind of figure out how to build a set list that is going to make everybody happy. And it's probably impossible. But I'd say I'm probably going to skew a little closer to Happiness more. Like if I play 12 songs, 4 of them might be Happiness songs, leaving, less than 4 for the other albums. But I'm not going to just get up and just play like Happiness Without a Catch and Dear McCracken. I think, when I put on a show, I want it to kind of represent my whole discography. I've been to the UK before. Last year I did a show. I did shows in like Edinburgh, London, and Manchester. So those cities specifically, figuring that a lot of people there might have seen us last year. I might skew a little more heavy towards Happiness songs. And then in cities that we haven't been to, I might do more of a kind of a spread. So. cover some Black Sabbath or AC/DC for my dad who has no idea who he's coming to see, please do. Run that by Matt from the Narcissist Cookbook, because Matt lists AC/DC's like 1993 live album as one of their biggest influences, and Matt knows covers and could absolutely play AC/DC in a satisfying way. Kobe says, I'm going to fly to the UK if you don't come to the Netherlands. So we're not coming to the Netherlands this year. I tried very hard to get a show in the Netherlands. I really did. We had planned to do Berlin and Rotterdam on our kind of like the European leg that we were doing. And I could not find a venue. There was lots of language barriers and things where like I'd have to go to websites. They'd all be in like Dutch, and I'd have to like translate them and then find a contact information and then go. And it was very tedious. And I contacted probably like 8 venues that seemed appropriate for our audience size. We only got one got back to us, and the rental costs that they quoted us was too much for what we expected to draw in. I thought we would, at best case scenario, only break even on the show, which is difficult for touring artists to do. So, Berlin is the only like mainland Europe show we're gonna be doing this year. But I'm gonna try again next year. We're gonna, next year if we go to Berlin and the audience turnout is big enough where we're like, okay, well, we did it in Berlin, maybe now we have the confidence to do it in the Netherlands, then we will. It's on my list. So I went to Rotterdam last year just on a personal trip, and I loved the city, and I love the Netherlands, and I want to come back. So seems like y'all are just doing the quiz and not have any questions for me. What's going on in my world? Obviously, the album came out about 2 weeks ago. Very pleased with the results. I've been doing a lot of organizing in my world and life, getting ready for the Kickstarter fulfillment. I have already fulfilled about 24% of all the Kickstarter backers, and those are people who just had like little things, guitar picks, stickers, postcards signed by the band. Those are things I already had. The other things were things like shirts and posters. I needed to get everybody's sizes and styles. There's 2 shirt choices, and I need to know how many larges and how many mediums to order. So I had to give everybody, place their orders, and then I placed the order for all the shirts. So those will be here in about 10 days, and then the rest of them will go. So getting my office organized. There's so many boxes, I can't even tell you. We had 500 orders, and this is the most just volume of merch I've ever had to ship. And so we literally had a truck come with like a pallet of boxes, and I spent a lot of yesterday. There's a pile of boxes that I folded together. They come, in like flat, and then you have to fold them and do the tabs and everything. I put together, I don't know, it's maybe, I want to say 60 boxes out of like the 350 that I'm going to need. And it's literally like piled up to my ceiling behind the camera. And I just watched Breaking Bad and folded boxes for like 2 hours. Same thing for vinyl boxes and getting all the CDs. We do have all the CDs back in stock. So if you've been waiting for a CD, we have everything. So. Okay, here's a question. Time wants to know, did Matt, Kyle, or Jesse create suggestions, ideas that you implemented in your songs? Oh no, it scrolled away. Without originally intending. Okay, so Feral Scream. If you haven't seen Matt's Scream from Shocking Plot Twist while we were in the studio, basically in April we were in Seattle in the recording studio making the album, and Matt got there kind of on the last day because we were all about to go on tour for that first leg of the U.S. tour, and so I just we were going to be in the studio all day, and so Matt landed at like noon, and I just got them a lift to the studio. Obviously jet lagged, like time difference and everything, and so mostly slept on the couch in the back of the studio while Jesse was working on the fan fiction piano. But there was a part where we're all going to do crowd vocals for Shocking Plot Twist and Alchemical Romance. Do you want to come in and just do those with us. It'd be a fun little Easter egg. And Matt made a noise that was so perfect for Shocking Plot Twist, and so I guess, yeah, while I'm talking about this, I am gonna put the, if you haven't listened to the album, like, come on. Anyways, so let's see, did they ideas that changed? Obviously, like, Jesse did the solos on Robbing a Bank, and not like that. That eclipsed my demo solos that I recorded in a big way. But I will say, I did technically, I did write Jesse's solo in Robbing a Bank. But the thing is, I did not write it on a guitar. I wrote it with my voice. And there is a recording of me that I sent to Jesse saying, can you play something like this? And I just made a bunch of mouth guitar sounds. And it's actually in the track. My vocal guitar solo is buried deep in the mix, just for kicks. And basically Jesse then just took that, just listened to it, and was like, yeah, and it just did that solo. And so I will say I did write that solo technically. And Jesse played it to perfection. And then the Not Like That solo was one that Jesse kind of came up with. I had it was a little bit of a bass riff that he did earlier in the song, and I attached to it, and I was like, can you make this riff kind of part of this solo? And he was like, okay, cool. And he just took it back, and then like 30 minutes later was like, how about this? And sent me basically the finished solo, and I was like, perfect. It's fantastic. So good. Yeah. And obviously we had discussions about kind of like what the arrangement of things were going to be. So like things like, is the bridge of Alchemical Romance, is that going to be on the cajon, or is it going to be on the drums? And what we decided was it was going to be snare and kick, and it's also going to be on the cajon. So the bedtime stories was like, what are we going to do for the percussion here? Let's do a little, just like rat-a-tat-tat with the kind of snare drum the whole time. Anyways, but lyrically, I'm trying to think. Obviously I'd always run ideas by the band, but lyrically, I feel like it was pretty internal to kind of my songwriting process this time around. So, sorry, I have to scroll up. Fred is waiting for the hoodie. Yep, hoodies are on their way. They'll be here on October 1st, and I will ship them right back out the door as soon as I can. So, it's going to take me about like 8 to 9 days once I get all of the stuff to actually fulfill all the orders. I apologize for the long wait. I did say on the Kickstarter that fulfillment by the end of the year. So hopefully everyone should have everything by end of October, except for the Happiness vinyls, which won't be here till like January, because that's just how vinyls are. I didn't finish the album until August, and so the soonest I could order the albums or the vinyls was then. So, Cornfield Cryptid wants to know, did you have a song that you were more nervous about putting out there than the others? Bedtime Story, 1000% Bedtime Story. I didn't even decide to put it on the album until June. The original, I'll just be honest, the original album structure was 10 songs and 1 bonus track. That bonus track was going to be the re-recorded version of The Chase. Thematically, it had a kind of a link to the album in a way that I thought was appropriate for being like a quasi bonus track. One being that every song on the album is a different movie genre, and The Chase was like a slasher flick, and so it's like my version of one of those movies. And then there is a line at the end of this one stayed inside his cage and traded happiness for age. And so there was that kind of like thematic link there as kind of like a little post-credit scene. But the problem was that there is a overarching story told on the album, and it's kind of told in 3 acts. First act being called Movie Night, which has Not Like That, 30 Plan, and Platonic Best Friend, that kind of sets the scene. And then there is the second act is called Conversate and Make Believe, which has 3 songs, Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost, Shocking Plot Twist, and now A Bedtime Story. But at the time, it only had Shocking Plot Twist and Too Bad, Too Bad and a Ghost, and I felt like it wasn't meaty enough. It didn't do everything that I wanted it to do. I wanted a song that gave a little more insight into the story being told. That Shocking Plot Twist and Too Bad, Too Bad and a Ghost are brought into the album via fan fiction in a way, and I wanted it to be not so out of nowhere, like so kind of retrospectively kind of added to like the theme of the album, that I wanted to set a precedent, and that precedent would be about telling stories. And so I sat down to write a story about someone telling a story, so that it wasn't so out of left field that I kind of roped these two songs into the theme of the album at the end. So I sat down to write a song about a couple telling a bedtime story, and then I didn't know that it was going to be this bare idea that I had also written or come up with last year. I had originally had an idea for a song called Bears Can Talk. The song is going to be called Bears Can Talk, and it wasn't going to have the bookends on the song where it's like you're the best at telling stories, kind of framing this as a bedtime story. It was going to just kind of start with the song itself just kind of happening, and the song was, two bears are trying to break into this tent, and they're kind of going back and forth and arguing about how the best way to go about it is, until they finally come up with like a way to like figure it out. And the end bit was going to be kind of, you discover that the song itself was one that was written from the perspective of a camper that they had written down in their tent, telling this story, and then at the end it would, like, the little like teaser line would be like, oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, bears can talk. Just kind of like a very absurdist kind of like humorous way of like saying like, this person was sitting in this tent listening to this banter back and forth, and then obviously got heated. So anyways, so then I took that idea and I reframed it, because it was so whimsical to begin with, that it seemed like a really good fit for the bedtime story idea. So but anyway, so then I wrote that song, and it was so weird and so different that I wasn't sure that people were going to like it, and then y'all did. Nick wants to know, can you tell us the genres of each song for those that's terrible at identifying those sort of thing? Yeah. I mean, no. Some of them are kind of obvious. Too Bad, like it's all like loose, right? Too Bad, Too Bad and a Ghost is my horror movie, right? Obviously, it's just my take on the horror genre. It's my bug hunter-fied song version of a horror movie. Rob at a Bank is a heist movie. That's kind of how loose I was with kind of the genres. Obviously, Dirty Plan, time travel. Not like that. Dystopian science fiction. I feel like that's pretty close. Yeah. Cornfield says, objectively, bedtime story really works. Subjectively, I would love to see a remastered Chase. Well, the good news is that we did record it. Like I said, we recorded the album in April, and I didn't decide on a bedtime story until I rewrote it in June, to kind of get it up to my spreadsheet bug hunter standards. But we recorded the Chase. We're just, giving happiness some time to exist in the world. We'll get it out there eventually. It's a weird one. I don't really know how we're going to release it. What did I say? Did I say dystopian? Dystopian? Sorry. This is just my life. It's just me talking, and then all of a sudden I've said something strangely. The problem is, is I grew up moving around a lot, just around the U.S., from kind of the Midwest to the West Coast to the South, and I just kind of never really latched on to any particular accent. So my ways of pronouncing things, are strange. So. Deep Bluing says Bugside's album. Yeah, I think I have always wanted to release an album just called Oops All Oops. That is just, yeah, basically like I wouldn't call it B-sides, because B-sides has such a weird connotation, but more like bonus track stuff, like all the bonus tracks that would be bonus tracks, but now I have too many bonus tracks to fit on the number of albums I even want to make. So having like an Oops All Oops, just like songs like, you know, if I had written 11 songs for the rough draft, The Gulf Coast and Boogie Pete would not have been on the rough draft, you know, because I like 11. 11 is just good. It just is. So this is my Stranger Things review podcast. Let me play another song. How about that? Let me get a pick. How about that? That's not the right note. We have invented an invention. You know, duct tape? It's not like that. We have created a creation. You know, cupcakes? It's not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can press. And when you press it, you'll be happy with no harmful side effects. Okay, our legal team's informed us we must warn you of the button side effects. You know that feeling when you had something to say and then forgot? This is not like that. You know that stress you get when you commit a crime and then get caught? This is not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can hit. It makes you happier for 4 to 7 hours, all depending on your blood type. Also, someone random on the planet dies. It probably won't be someone you know. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. We have revised a new revision. We got your feedback, you did not like that. We have modified the button now. Instead of someone dying, they will simply lose their balance as they're walking down the stairs. It's not your fault if they won't hold the rail. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. College student oversleep their last exam, and a small business owner lose an envelope of cash, and a puppy will be told he's a bad dog when he didn't do anything wrong. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. I wanna love this new thing. I killed for something to bring happiness without a catch. I want this, but not like that. Oh my God, no. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, Nick E must have been at the Toronto show, which was the first place I played that song. let me think, for the new album. Toronto in March was the first time that we debuted Not Like That to a live audience. Was very fun. 30 Plan, first time we played it was in Omaha. We were in like a small comedy improv theater. There's like 60 people there, and I was like, all right, since this is the smallest show that we're gonna play this entire tour, it was sold out, but it's just a small place. Since this is a small show we're gonna play, I'm gonna play y'all a brand new song, just so I'm not as nervous to do it other places. And so I played 30 Plan for the first time and went well. Platonic, the first time I played Platonic in a public might have been like, we had this very, very small backyard show in Washington DC in like 2021. Kyle came out. We were gonna go see my brother and me, and then they canceled that show for some reason. So he already made his ticket. So we booked a show, like a very small. It was like 25 people. It was very, very small. I doubt anybody in the comments was there. But that's the first time we played Platonic, I think, in front of a live audience. I played it on a Zoom show like a month before that, but Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost, first time in front of a live audience would have been in Nashville, I think, the first stop of our Midwest tour last year. Shocking plot twist, we also played in Nashville, but that was the most recent show that I played. It was the last show of the July tour, and I was like, okay, the song is coming out in like 10 days, and I want to get a live reaction from an audience that nobody knows the song, no one knows it's going to happen, and I'll never get this opportunity again. I was like, if these 120 people can keep a secret for 10 days and not ruin this on like our Discord, and they all did. They all kept the secret, which was great. Bedtime Story, still haven't played live. Alchemical Romance, I think we debuted in Hollywood earlier this year. Coward, haven't played live. Robbing a Bank, haven't played live. Fanfiction, haven't played live. One Armed Hug, haven't played live. So the lyric scramble was Robbing a Bank, and the group, they got a lot of the individual like lines down, but was unable to solve it by the time the album came out. So Jams is trying to get me and saying that I played Coward live like 10 minutes ago, and I was very specifically talking about the first live audience with people in front of me. Nice try. Yeah, Mars got to hear the first Alchemical Romance live. I'm pretty sure, I think we played it just because you were going to be there. And I was like, well, we might as well do a debut thing. Cool, we'll do a little more cozy Q&A. Timerson wants to know, how do you play the whole what happened part aloud? It's a very good question. The answer to which is we played it about 4 times, and we don't really. We just kind of do like a instrumental kind of thing, but like those are like, they're like sound effects, and I don't think they come through in a way live. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. It's why I haven't played it on stream yet. Figuring out what that looks like live. Because we run a pretty like low production show, just in terms of like to be able to tour and do everything that we do. It helps us a lot that we can just show up with a acoustic guitar, plug in and sing into a mic, and have everybody have a really good time. We don't do lights and like props and effects and things like that, because both Matt and I are very like story-based songwriters, and we create very intimate environments where it is like, you know, we just get into a room and we're going to sing along and we're going to have a good time. And that keeps us logistically able to tour the way that we do. If we had a very complicated setup with like light rigs and timing and all that, we'd have to have more people, a bigger van, more lodging, and like we just wouldn't be able to do it. So the fact that y'all are happy with us showing up and just singing our song for you allows us to do it. So, but on the flip side, when we do have elements like that, you know, some more thought has to be kind of put into the presentation of it. So I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. We do a thing. We don't just like skip over it. It's just more like just like a thing. And like Kyle just, you know, goes on the drums real hard for like 8 seconds. But yeah, it doesn't have all like kind of the woo and the woo and the eh. So anyways. Deep Blue Ink wants to know, how many people heard Too Bad Too Bad and It Goes before me? My parents heard it first. Then Kyle, you might have heard it before Jesse heard it. So you were either the 4th person or the 5th person. But yeah, if Jesse heard it before you, I can't remember, it was 2 years ago. If Jesse heard it before you, then that you'd be the 5th person to hear it. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't kidding. Like, when I wrote that song, I was like, this is a Deep Blue Ink animated music video. I need to get on this immediately. I'm not going to wait till I finish whatever album I'm writing. We're doing this song because this is very fun. Yeah. And as far as, I think for the album too, I mean, Deep Blue Ink, I sent Deep Blue Ink the album early as well. And yeah, I think Matt heard it before you, because Matt was in the van and all that, and I sent it to Matt. But yeah. Barry wants to know, would you ever consider doing a show in Australia? I would love to. The logistics of doing it are very difficult. So yeah, that's all. That's all I can really say. The logistics of doing it are very, very difficult and costly. And the problem is that I know a lot of people ask, hey, can you do a show in Australia? And like, the honest truth is like, maybe, and we could maybe do it in like Sydney. But if you don't live in like Sydney, I mean, yeah, to be able to draw enough people to make the venue rentals and all that make sense and worth it. You know, in the U.S., I can go play a show in Omaha for 60 people, and it's fine because we just drove there. It's in between 2 bigger stops, but you know, I don't think we could do anything outside of like the major like people hubs in Australia. So, anyways, I want to. It's so on my list. You can't even imagine. The Kyle on this stream is not the Kyle. Real Kyle is blue. All bandmates and mods would show up blue. So. True story, on Jesse's birthday, there was a loud Kyle chant, and Bug had to rally the crowd to cheer for Jesse instead. Yeah, and we made it up to Jesse got sung Happy Birthday probably like 5 nights in a row on that tour, because I would just be like, hey, it was Jesse's birthday 4 days ago, and everyone would just sing him Happy Birthday. So Jesse has got a lot of love from the audiences on that tour. So. Two people made what if the real Kyle is the people and the friends we met along the way. It's very good. Everybody here is blue, except Deep Blue. It's funny. While on tour, did you play Boomerang at all? And if so, how many times? No, I don't think we've ever played Boomerang on tour. Though I did in July. I managed to play the entire existing Bug Hunter discography at least once by forcing Atlanta to hear Echoes and forcing Nashville to hear Hold Tough. Which was fun. It was fun in a way of like when you preface it with like, excuse me, I have to fill out my bug decks and get every song played at least once. I'm 2 songs short, if you will indulge me. And like people sang along to both, which was very cool. It's not something that, you know, I'm used to people singing Dear McCracken. I am not used to people singing Hold Tough. It was cool. But it's not something I'm going to do at every show, because we have other songs that I think people would rather hear. I don't think anybody would be like, yes, play Echoes, but don't play, you know, Be Glad I Love You. So, I still want to do the yeah, that's what streams are for, right? I still want to do the full 2-night Bug Hunter Discography back-to-back shows in cities. I'm trying to set that up. I had a lead in Seattle to host it, but they haven't gotten back to me. So, but I would love to do that. Just like 2 nights, like a Friday and a Saturday. Friday, play Torn Between a Couple and the Rough Draft with an intermission between them. And then Saturday, play Bigger Than Myself and then Happiness Without a Catch with an intermission so that people could come and hear every Bug Hunter song live. Would love to do it. Don't know how many people would actually come to it because it's kind of niche. It's a lot to sign up for. 44 songs over 2 nights, but I'm looking at doing it next year at some point. So, Tyson wants to know, what song are you not a big fan of playing in front of an audience? Assuming Magic 8 being so personal. I have no problem playing Magic 8. I don't play it a lot because it's just not as popular of a song. But I think we played it in Boston night 2. I remember playing it. I think I like last minute decided to play it while I was on stage. I think I was gonna play Pebbles and didn't, but I could be wrong. I could have played both, but I feel like I remember seeing Pebbles and being like, you know what, I'm gonna do Magic 8 and just do it. So. Yeah, this is what streams are for, these obscure songs, though. When I turned 15, determined to keep my head lower than my self-esteem. I had a plan, but I was held back by acting like acne was the worst thing to have. And if I could go back, leave a note that might have told that teen boy the stuff that I didn't know then. I'd write 2 words, all he needs to know. This ain't how it'll always be. Hold tough, fill your heart with mud, stitch up every cut when you had enough, and stand strong when the pressure's up. And damn this flood by holding tough. When I did what Simon said, I had plans inside my head, planted by handsome men, but in the act of cashing in, I gave half of my fraction of passion left. It's not pretty, it's not trendy to act like this. I'm no natural, I have to practice it. You're not ready, I get that, but here it is. Stick with me or be stuck with what you get. Hold tough, fill your heart with mud, stitch up every cut when you had enough, and stand strong when the pressure's up. And damn this foot by holding tough. Hold tough, fill your heart with mud, stitch up every cut when you had enough, and stand strong when the pressure's up. And damn this foot by holding tough. Cool. That's a song called Hold Tough. It's easy to play because it's very short. You're welcome, Poppy. I'm glad that that's your favorite song. I like it a lot. I think I probably didn't do myself any favors with the production of the song, but I really love it. I love the production of Hold Tough, and I know that it is a little loud and high-pitched, and I'm sorry for people who don't like it, but I love it. It was way more abrasive in the initial version, and I was told to tone it down. The version that you know is a toned-down version of the version that I had. The old version was much more staticky and gravelly kind of in the voice, and I turned the sliders down so that people could understand me better. Yeah. Tyler so asks, Bug, have you ever tried to mimic Matt's playing style on guitar? I think that would be fun. It would also be impossible because Matt has been playing guitar for so much longer than me, and Matt is so much better than me at guitar, and it's not so much a style as it is a skill issue. I'm not very good at playing guitar, but Matt is very, very talented. Matt has been playing guitar for longer than I have. Matt has songs from years before I even picked up a guitar. Matt plays guitar like basically every night. Matt kind of part of their job is playing in pubs around where they live, and I only play guitar when I'm on stage and when I'm doing streams. So I could get better at guitar, but I don't have time. I have to write songs and run Bug Hunter. So yes, it is. I would love to play in that style, meaning good at guitar. Yes, would love that. Bug doesn't even play guitar when recording the songs. That is not true. I do play it when I record the songs, but not while I sing the songs. I do those separate. Yeah. No, I was actually very happy with my contributions to the guitar on Happiness. I think a lot of the riffs were ones that I wrote. I mean, essentially all of them. You know, the Not Like That, the um, 30 Plan, all of the kind of guitar riffs in there were ones I wrote. Bedtime Story, the banjo pieces were all my melodies. Robbing a Bank, actually, most of Robbing a Bank outside of the solo was my instrumentation. What else? I'm just gonna take credit for everything. No, I mean, like, yeah, Jesse came in and does all the bass parts and did the solos for those two songs, Not Like That and Robbing a Bank. But outside of that, I think most of the guitar, I think all the guitar was me. I don't think Jesse recorded any guitar except for those two solos for this album. Was mostly just on bass, and then did the piano parts for Fan Fiction that I arranged. So yeah, so the whole banjo part in Bedtime, that was Bug just singing. Yeah. Beep Doink says, I was putting away watching at the time, but just retrospectively, Not Like That. Live in the stream was 10 out of 10. Completely get why it was such a hit live. Yes, I have a Not Like That story that is only maybe interesting to me, but when I first wrote it, I sent it to a buddy of mine, my old college roommate, who basically this person did all of the quality control for Torn Between a Couple. I had two roommates in college. Their names are Austin and Ethan. And it was at a time where I didn't have a band. And I wasn't really like talking to my folks about my music as much. And I would just send my song drafts to Austin and Ethan and be like, what do you like of these? Austin loved Hold Tough. Austin is the reason that Hold Tough exists on a Bug Hunter album. So if you want to know why Hold Tough is out there in the world, it's because Austin was like, if you put one song on this album, I want it to be Hold Tough. Ethan was the champion for $sign Sax. That's Ethan's favorite from that album. Anyways, and as time has gone on, I had bandmates, and so I didn't rely on Austin and Ethan as much to kind of listen to the demos of songs, because I was kind of getting the feedback that I needed from, like Jesse and Kyle, Marcus. But I wrote Not Like That, and I was like, I haven't gotten Austin's opinion in a while. I sent Austin Not Like That, and keep in mind, this is an earlier version of Not Like That isn't exactly the same. It had some of the elements of it. It was admittedly a not as refined version of Not Like That. And Austin was like, I don't know. I don't like this one. I think it's your first song you've ever written that I don't like. He's like, it sounds like somebody trying to write a Bug Hunter song and failing. And I was like, oh man, that hurt my feelings so bad because I love this song so much. But then I went back and like, initially the line about someone random on the planet dies was in like that first verse. So there was like no time to really process like the premise. So, and just little things like that. And so I went back and rewrote it. And now, I keep sending Austin stats about Not Like That because it's one of our most listened to songs off the album in the first like 2 weeks, and I'm just trying to rub it in Austin's face that it's a really good song and people like it a lot, and he was wrong. So and I had similar story for some people about the song called 30 Plan. The first draft of which wasn't as well received, and now it's also one of our most popular songs. So have Austin and Ethan been to one of your recent live shows? That's a really good question. So they both came to a show that I played in San Luis Obispo, California in 2021, which was like, we got booked like the day before that to like come and just play at this brewery basically. And I just put a thing on Instagram. It's like, hey, we're playing at this brewery. It's not a big deal. It's free. Come if you want. And like 10 people showed up. Mars is one of them. And it was not representative of, even at the time, like how our shows went. And now in 2023, with our shows as big as they are, they haven't been to any of those. Ethan came to my Hollywood show in 2022. It was kind of this small show in this, it's called Kulak's Woodshed. They like filmed the whole thing on like really nice cameras and all that. And Ethan was there at that. But Austin has 2 kids and has a harder time getting to shows now. Especially he lives in Bakersfield, so like, you know, it's hard to get to like, you know, San Francisco or LA from there. So yeah, so I think they would be very tickled to come to a show now, like the Seattle show or any of like Denver, you know, the New York, these big shows. I think they'd be very, very tickled because they remember when I was just playing this ukulele in our apartment junior year of college, and being very annoying because I was very bad at writing songs at the time. So they heard me when I was not Bug Hunter, going on tour, playing sold out shows. So cool. I've streamed for a long time. I'm hungry. So I'm gonna leave. I'll answer a few more questions. Kyle wants to know what my favorite of Matt's songs is. I always say my favorite of Matt's songs is It Felt Fake, because I am always of the opinion that when you're asked what your favorite song of a band is, you should give an obscure answer so that somebody who maybe hasn't heard a song maybe gets a little extra love. But so go listen to It Felt Fake by Narcissist Cookbook. It's a song that, like, you know, there's songs like in Matt's discography that I'm like, that is a Matt song, that, like, you know, I couldn't write this song. But there's some songs that I'm like, man, I'm really jealous because that would be like a really, really good Bug Hunter song. And It Felt Fake feels to me like, gosh, Not Entirely Alone, also a great song. Also not one that I feel like I could pull off in any way. But yeah, so anyways. Oh yeah, lyric card for the day. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's grabbed it yet, but these go, we haven't missed one in a while. It's the bedtime story. It's so he can either reach in or dig his little feet in to dig up underneath them and sneak in, and he can unzip the screen, then we can both creep in while they are deep asleep. And oh, come on, let's go for it. I'm sick and tired of scheming. So if this isn't gone by the time I check my phone, I'll be very surprised. But it's the bedtime story, handwritten postcard of the day. Only one person gets it every day. Today it's bedtime story. Tomorrow it's alchemical romance, and it's the chant for tomorrow. So if you want to be awake at 10 a.m. Eastern, it's the reason, logic, rationale. Protect me from this magic spell. I sign them, date them. Today's is number 395 that I've done in a row for September 24th, and that comes out every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So. Okay, I'm gonna go join our Discord, take the bracket quiz. I only put it in this chat, but if you missed it earlier, I'm demoing this kind of bracket quiz rather than my traditional house quiz, and if you can go take it and see if it works. I'm really just kind of testing it right now. You can't find it besides that link right there, so and it'll tell you what your favorite Bug Hunter albums are. So everybody have a great day. I will be back Wednesday for my normal stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm gonna go eat a pancake that I made in a rice cooker. So bye.